You got everything set up.
Nope.
I didn't.
I was kidding. I did that.
That was funny. I was like, no.
Doug's had an issue with his microphone.
It's been turning off on its own. Oh, wow. So hopefully this thing will work now. All right. Better or worse? Did the Lions get better or worse this offseason? From Terry on Twitter. They got substantially better. They upgraded a defensive end and a guy that could play the majority of the games, hopefully. They've got multiple upgrades at corner, multiple tight ends, more depth at wide receiver. The only downgrade was right guard, and Lang missed a lot of games to begin with. The real question is, how much better are the other teams? From Will Michaels, they got better for these reasons. No more predictable JBC scheme. Tight end productivity will go from 0 to something respectable. Glover Quinn replaced by Will Harris, and they got a steal in undrafted free agency in Benchwall. From the Beggars, they got much better. April showers bring Trey Flowers.
Look at that.
Yep.
Very poetic.
Mm-hmm. They got better. When's the last time they had one good running back? Now we have two. Amendola and 3 new good tight ends. Flowers and Bryant improves the D-line. Coleman and a 3rd and 5th rounder picks make the secondary better. Not sure about the second round middle linebacker. Hope he's worth the pick. O-line, what changed? Go Lions.
I don't know if you saw this when you were out in the sun in Mexico.
Yeah.
Your boy got cut.
Who?
The undrafted tight end that you like.
A kid from Stetson?
Yeah.
They
gone.
cut him already?
He gone. They cut both tight
right
ends.
when you left for Cabo.
Yeah. They cut both of them after the rookie camp. They cut them both and signed 2 receivers.
Damn. Well, that bold-ass prediction had a shelf life of like what?
Good thing you got that in quick.
12 hours?
Yeah, it wasn't long.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't put on enough weight to play the tight end position.
Perhaps not.
He is a beast. He'll catch on somewhere. You watch.
Yeah, in the NBA.
Yeah, the XFL.
Right.
From Rob Mountain. Run game could be huge this year. Carry-on's healthy. Add CJ, TJ, and Big Ben from Wisconsin. Will start at right guard on opening day. He didn't get cut, did he? Benchwall? Wouldn't that be funny? They stayed the same. The draft was hit or miss for me. The free agency wasn't all that. 7-9 or 8-8. But the division got way better. That's from Charles. From M. Baushin, better team but tough schedule equals similar or worse record. From the real Michael Fick with an F.
Real Michael.
They got better. D-line went from strength to elite. Linebacker was a position of weakness, lacking depth last year. Depth has improved. The secondary lacked depth last year, especially at cornerback with Coleman, Melvin, and Amani. It's greatly improved. Tight end went from weakest position group to a strength. Running back stayed the same, though, although Zenner has improved from the start of last year. Wide receivers worse if we're talking about the start of last season. The O-line is a question mark with a lot of depth to fill. That right guard spot has no clear-cut starter. Rest of the line is solid. Quarterback needs to bounce back. Well, there's a lot of hope. All right, Gator, you and I were talking during one of the commercial breaks, and I've made the comment that I think that Michigan basketball took a hit, like one that I can't remember happening, quite frankly, in our lifetime. In the last 20 years, the last 25 years, the only thing comparable I can think of is, and I'm talking about a guy leaving to coach elsewhere, is Nick Saban leaving Michigan State to coach LSU. And what I remember, and you confirmed it, is that people were just pissed.
People were pissed.
They weren't really necessarily sad to see him go.
Oh, well, you made Michigan State feel like a stepping stone. Built up the program, got offered a gig in the SEC, took off and ran, tried to get all of his coaches to go with him. From what I understand, also talked to some players at the time, and that was rough. That was rough. Spartan fans were pissed because obviously it was a great season to that point. They'd won 9 games in the regular season going into the bowl game, and preparing for a matchup against Florida in the Citrus Bowl and the old ball coach, Steve Spurrier. It was not a good situation. Spartan fans were pissed. But in the end, of course, looking back retrospectively, did we want Saban to stay? Of course we would have wanted Saban to stay. My God, he's the best coach in college football. The only one I think that could be close to this is Scotty Bowman. Because when Scotty decided to hang up the skates, I guess, because he was skating on the ice for the when he was coaching with the Red Wings, and just kind of stick around and be kicked upstairs or whatever. We thought he was going to stay in the Wings organization. What did he do? He left to go to Chicago, the rival, and help his son. Now, Red Wing fans, I don't think I think some were pissed and some were like, okay, look, it's family. I get it. He's leaving for family, and he's not coaching. He's going in the front office. But his influence was definitely felt with the Blackhawks organization, and it wasn't long before the Blackhawks won it. In fact, it was the next year, wasn't it?
It's certainly comparable in terms of loss. I don't think it's met with the same. Like, I think Michigan fans, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think are depressed. I think they're depressed about this news. And in the case of Bowman, it was winning a cup and it was retiring from coaching, not winning a cup and going to coach somewhere else. And I don't think you could paint the fan base as depressed after winning the cup either, too. You know what I mean?
Well, no, but he was still the coach when they lost to Pittsburgh no, it's a Babcock thing. I'm thinking, okay, right, because he's got to go back to the AO2 team.
Yeah, Scotty Bowman was on the ice. The way I remember, he was on the ice and they had the cup, and he was telling people, I'm done.
In the O2 team, yeah. So told everybody he was done, but he wasn't done. I mean, he was done coaching, but he wasn't done pulling strings.
I mean, it's comparable. I just can't think of anything like this. A Detroit fan base. Has there been one Lions coach that left?
No, nobody was upset with any Lions coach that left.
There's some that are upset with Jim Caldwell leaving, but not like not like this.
Yeah, Jim Caldwell didn't take the Lions to the Super Bowl and only to lose in the Super Bowl, which is what John Beilein did with Michigan twice. Took him to the national championship game.
But is there any Tiger manager?
No. I mean, the only manager we've seen in the last 20 years where they had any success was Jim Leland, and there was so much.
There was so much Leland second guessing.
There was a lot of Leland second guessing, a lot of Leland angst. Although once Osmus took over, I think there were a lot of fans who were like, "Oh, well, wait a minute, this is the alternative." We do love Jim Leland, and fans do love Jim. To this day, fans love Leland.
They love Jim Leland, but I didn't
it's
sense
a little bit of
depression.
revisionist history at the time.
It's not a depression when he left.
Not in the immediate wake of it. No, it took 30 games before that depression set in, but it wasn't immediate like right now. Michigan fans are distraught.
Yeah, I think this feels completely unprecedented. And I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm looking, we're hearing Juwan Howard's emerging as a very strong candidate. And okay, I mean, he has no track record. And that doesn't mean he won't be a great head coach.
He's got a track record as an assistant coach.
He's got a track record as assistant coach in the NBA. I always wonder about sort of people that get excited about the Juwan Howard name. And does the Juwan Howard name, does that the kids of this age, that you think you get out there recruiting, does that reverberate at all with them? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
248-539-9797. Let's go to JC in South Lyon. Hi, JC.
Hey, guys. How are you?
What's up?
I love your analogy, and I'll tell you where I think it leads. If you go back in time, I believe Saban realized he was never going to be top dog with Izzo at MSU. Then I think you draw the parallel where Beilein was never going to be top dog with Harbaugh at U of M. And I really believe they both jumped for that reason. I think it was a big part of it. And, that's the way the world works, I guess.
Well, I'll address the Spartan part. I don't think that played any role into why Nick Saban left Michigan State, because it was where he was going to be overshadowed by Tom Izzo. I mean, at that point, Izzo hadn't won a national championship yet. They had just gotten to a Final Four that season in '99, I believe. I don't think that was the case for Michigan State. Now, Doug can speak on the Michigan part. Do you think that
Well, the
one of
basketball
the reasons
coach
Beilein,
will not likely ever be the top dog at Michigan. However,
Right.
Beilein took that thing to unprecedented heights.
do you think that bothered Beilein?
Maybe a little,
I agree.
but he's not an ego-driven. Like, he doesn't come across as a real heavy, stroke my ego kind of guy.
Right.
But he took that place to somewhere it's never been. He'd been shown love, and that basketball program got love from not just younger, older. Everybody loved it. Michigan fans loved Michigan basketball under John Beilein. The Fab Five made the old Blues uncomfortable. It was a fun time, but it made the old Blues uncomfortable. The Frida era that led to the Fisher era, some people always kind of had an eyebrow raised going, what's going on over here with basketball? Not with Beilein. Beilein got standing ovations at the Big House of 110,000. Beilein had that arena consistently sold out. Tickets were hard to come by. I got friends with season tickets that cost $25 a game. They were selling them for $120 a game. And consistently. That basketball program had never been like it was under John Beilein, and he got plenty of love. Now, were there little things that bother him? I'm sure. There's no such thing as a perfect job.
I think the stuff you said yesterday about him, decisions based perhaps on the landscape of college basketball, I think that plays a monster role in why he took this chance. The other part is maybe his lifelong dream is to coach in the NBA.
The wording I got from an insider was some of the stuff going on with early entries and rules violations bothers him, eats at him more than he will ever let on. 248-539-9797, 11:35. Interesting comments from Rod Wood, Lions president, about Calvin Johnson and about hosting the draft. We'll get to that today at 11:35. 97.1 The Ticket.